And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals, to the second half of the broadcast here for the KungFu Cup weekly number 3 for the year of 2026. We just wrapped up with Bjorn versus Clem, and Bjorn did take down Clem 2-1 to advance on to the grand finals. And Bjorn is waiting for the winner of this next series. It's going to be a best of 3 between SHIN and Cure. Let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into our TVZ. We're jumping into game 1. It's going to be here on Winter Madness. Again, SHIN is always a fun player to watch and a kind of a difficult player to really get a read on. As of late, SHIN has been hyper aggressive. We've been seeing a lot of two-base play. I'm reminded about his series versus Percival, his series versus Bjorn from STC a couple of weeks ago, where SHIN, he went nothing but two-base play, either going to two-base layer into mutas, two-base layer into hydras, or two-base layer into roaches. It was just a variation of two-base play game after game after game after game. We'll see if that trend is continuing here in KungFu Cup. As spawning in the top right, in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the blue Terran player, we have the South Korean Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Cure. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player, we have the blue Zerg representing himself. It is SHIN. Let's go. Let us go, as we do have our initial hatch first built here out of our Zerg player, and we'll see where he takes us from here, whether he does go into a delayed link speed and earlier lair, which is something we have seen a lot from SHIN over the past couple of weeks. We'll see if he once again relies on that style, or if he does go into something a little bit different in this TVZ. Oh, as we are going for 2x Reaper out of Cure. So 2x Reaper out of our Terran player here. Technically, we could throw down a third Rax behind this on the high ground. Wait, hold on, my apologies, as we have not taken gases. I was curious because of the peculiar placement of these Raxes, but yeah, delayed gases here from Cure. So my apologies, this is 2x Marine. And I believe the goal should be to hunt down this Overlord into a bunker rush. Yeah. So very often here, the goal is to hunt down the Overlord, deny vision, deny scouting, build up your Marine count early on, and you can be cheeky, send out an early SCV, set up a bunker outside of the third base, and try to force a cancel. So we'll see if he goes one step further and does send the SCV across the map. For now, the goal should be to try to catch the Overlord. Bearing in mind he doesn't know where it is. He's not fully aware. Overlord coming in towards that natural. And Cure's looking for it. You can see. Oh! Yeah, Cure, he's hunting for the Overlord, and oh, he barely will miss it. Oh no! Yeah, barely does miss it. Barely does not see. He just moves out. Yeah, he just moves out anyway. The Overlord doesn't quite get much vision here. Spots are deep on the low ground. That is a bit of a tell. Marines are moving out. No SCV. Yeah, no SCV across the map, so the goal here should just be to break through. Behind this, going for a third Rax? What is going on? Okay, Cure. Show us what you got. I assume this will just lead into a 2-on-1, but no, we have a third Rax on the way. A heavy stim timing coming here for Cure. He moves out to shut down a natural, but there is none. Sorry, the third, I meant to say. He's moved out to shut down the third. SHIN does go for a delayed third base. He stays on 2 bases, builds up his drone count, and we have 100 gas, no link speed. Ooh, no link speed out of SHIN. Remember, what did we say at the beginning of the series? SHIN has been loving two-base lair. Two-base lair, time and time again. We're expecting a lair out of SHIN. There it is, two-base lair. We've seen this every game over the past couple of weeks in SHIN's TVZs, non-stop two-base lair. And as we mentioned at the start of the game, at the start of the series, it's either two-base muta, two-base hydra, or two-base roach. And we have the answer, roaches. So Roach Warren gets thrown down. Overlord pokes in, confirms all 3 Raxes. Big scout here by SHIN, and the Roach Horn is going to work beautifully here. Now, bearing in mind, roaches, they do struggle against a bio tank army or marauder heavy army, but remember, there's no factory. There's no factory, so there's no tank production. Likewise, Cure didn't scout. Cure doesn't know what's going on. For all he knows, it could be 2-base muta, which means there's no marauders, right? Against a roach heavy composition, marauders are necessary, but you have to scout first to know you have to make marauders, and Cure has not scouted. All he knows is that the third is delayed. So in his mind, it still could be 2-base muta. So with that, SHIN is amassing, building on more roaches. Soon Kira will pull the trigger. No shot, he waits for the factory and waits for the starport. No shot. Yeah, here he comes. Here comes Kira. He is now pushing across the map. Heavy bio army. Heavy mapping. And he's going to be running into all the roaches, but so far, he might get on top of the third. Does scan, does spot the roaches, he knows. Yeah, Shin, he has to be careful. I mean, both players do. Roach speed is almost done, and once roach speed is finished, then Shin can just commit. He's going for it, he's chasing. He does give chase. Yeah. Yeah, 5 more seconds. Behind this, Marauder production finally begins. As we mentioned before, he just didn't know there were roaches. Like Kira did not know. Didn't realize. That's why his Marauders are so delayed. Marines getting picked up. There's the first stim. Yeah, we just commit. We just commit to the fight here. Picking up, what, 4 or 5 roaches. Behind this, Shin is droning. So Shin, he has no intention to all in. He's droning up behind this. Oh, getting into burrow and tunneling claws. Okay. Shin. Have my attention. But Shin does pull away, building up his roaches, getting into tunneling claws. Meanwhile, Kira, he has a very late third CC, incredibly delayed. This was essentially a 2-base all-in out of Kira, and the all-in has failed. So Kira, he's stumbling his way into the mid game. The longer this game goes on, the better it should be for Shin. I mean, it's difficult to really say that with certainty, just because both players had delayed economies. Shin also had a late third. Kira also has a late third, so it's like, it's very messy. It's very, very messy. ¿A dónde está Ronaldinho? Oh. As Kira sims in. And Kira sims in. Shin, half his armies across the map. Going for his tunneling claw run by. Where he's tunneling in. Double jump into the main. Again, Roach is they're not the most mobile army. Having a hard time keeping up. Having a hard time getting 1, getting 2, getting 3 roaches. Main army moves out. Shin, we gotta do something here. There's a turret. Yeah, turret back at home. Once again, Kira stims in. The Marauders had a lot to the army. They had a lot. Nice micro. Reveals burrow. But I mean, there was a turret back at home anyway, so he had to show. There was no downside in showing it. He already had. And our players are building up. Shin, he's going to be the first to max out. He's almost there. Remember, Kira's third is incredibly delayed. That's why Kira's having such a hard time building up his own army. But he does have a very strong defensive setup here. He's got bunkers, tank lines, turrets as well. He's very secure here on 3 bases. Or at least between his 3 bases. Also bearing in mind that when Shin does max, it is an inefficient army supply, as he does have his Roach Ravager of all things. It's a very inflated army supply. There we go. He does incorporate a couple of infestors. We have 3 infestors in the mix. And we got those fungals. Marines healed when they're inside the medevac? No. It's not the case. Yeah, it's nice fungal. Yeah, fungal does land. The files they do. Ooh, crazy army. But tanks they do punish. Yeah, massive tank shots. If I remember correctly, I think that was something they were messing around with StarCraft Evolution. I don't know if that was in Brood War or something they played around with SC Evo, but the idea of if a medic was inside of the medevac, sorry, was inside of a dropship with Marines, then the medic would heal the Marines. But that's specific to like Brood War / SC Evo. But not the case in SC2. But you might be thinking about Brood War. As Ragnarok, he does collapse in. Nice around, catching up both tanks. From here, Cure backs off. Both armies are maxing out. At this stage of the game, I would say that Ragnarok, or I should say Shin, he's Ragnarok in game at the moment, but Shin, he has too much supply in roaches. He's trying to make that transition to Hive Tech into Ultra Tech as well. The upgrades aren't really lined up for it. He's working on +1 melee. He needs a little bit of time for the Ultras to really hit their stride. Likewise, we are forgetting +3 carapace. That's still not quite being researched. Oh no! Roach is getting caught out. A bit of a saving grace. Shin, he has to get rid of them. He has to get rid of these roaches. Needs to free up supply. Bailing speed now begins as well. There's a window in time here where the army is a little bit vulnerable. Before kindness plating and before bailing speed. Q's moving in. Here he does rotate. Oh. Here does threaten the dive. Mine just going up. Does connect with Ling Bane. Yeah, Ling Bane going down. Ultra does get sniped. Remember, no kindness plating. The Ultras, they're vulnerable. Oof. Yeah, massive mine shots. That's going to be, what, 2, 3 Ultras going down. The Ultras, oh no, they're made out of paper. Dragging the army through the minefield. Ooh, massive connection. The fungals. Oh my god. Shin. Massive fungals. Who needs bailing speed? Just fungal the army. The slow bailings connect. And Shin holds. Whew, Shin does hold. If it wasn't for those fungals, Cure, he would have traded so much better there, catching out more Ultras, pulling away. But very nice fungal there from Shin. The MVP back. And with that, Shin holds. And finally, all the upgrades finished. Kindness plating, bailing speed, more importantly. It's all now done. Yeah, Cure going for the backstab at the same time as Shin is moving out. There's a cancel on the expansion. Another drop here in between the bases. But Shin, he just wants to go. He just wants to send it. The mine shot going off 2 more mines. Catching up more Ling Bane. Ultras, they try to battle their way through the liberation zones, through the tanks as well. Yeah, messy fight here from Shin. But it looks like he might still have enough. Yeah, medevacs, they do get caught out by the biles. Ultras waddling in. Shin, he's breaking through. Oh my god. Yeah, there's the unborrow, bit of friendly fire. Gets into the mineral line. Shin, he barely breaks the main army, and he gets 10 SCVs. Not bad. Yeah, takes down 10 SCVs, 10 workers. Pulling back. Still reinforcing. We're still getting messy. And GG. He runs out of steam here. I didn't realize that Shin, he was that all in, and he fails to break through. He fails to break through, traded with the army, did not break the expansion though, and Cure will take the game. GG, well played, as Cure does take it. Shin, alas, pushing into that siege line, especially because he also didn't have any infestors to support the army as well, was brutal. He had no infestors with the army. We saw one towards the end after the fight had concluded, but to fail to get into a mineral line, to fail to break an expansion, GG. GG, well played. With that, Cure, he does survive, he does defend, he does take the first game, and with that, we're now getting game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Again, I'm still impressed that Shin was able to survive the first big push and make it into his ultras, make it into his ultra tech. But was very committed, and with that, we're now getting into our second game and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mothership. We have the South Korean Terran. We have the blue Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Cure. I'll fix up the names. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg. It is Shin. I'll fix it up. Here we go. So we are going to be settling into our second game. Cure leading the series 1-0. And they get a very intense game number 1. Very messy as well, as you mentioned. Very low eco initially, with Cure playing 2-base all in, and with Shin going to 2-base Roach as well. So very low eco. Shin eventually got into his Hive Tech, eventually got into all of his Ultras, but as you mentioned, he did just commit. He committed across the map once he got his upgrades, and he failed to kill. Expensive losses there for Shin. That's all he had. Oh, CC first? Let's go. Welcome to Mothership. Mothership is a larger map of the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. Because the map is so large, you can get away with CC first. You see it quite often in all matchups. So we have the faster command center. Likewise, Shin going hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of Shin. Meanwhile, greedier build out of Cure. The greed map. When it comes to Mothership itself, it's a very large map. It's also a very open map as well. There are a lot of angles of attack, and very often we do actually favor Zerg players in longer game states. So we're expecting some more aggression out of Cure in the mid game, specifically in that mid game. They should have an update for that. I don't think there's any call for like additional utility for Bio Terran in the meta. At the moment, the idea of having to drop units to heal them and having that's like that counterplay is more preferable. But here we go. Here we go. For now, we do have our initial setup here. Third base is now being taken on time. I did mention earlier that for quite some time now, we've seen nothing but 2-base lair out of Shin, but for the first time in a while, we do have a standard opener and no additional gases either. So no faster lair this time, but part of that is the map itself, right? It is Mothership. You do want to be more economic and more greedy on this map. It does lean in that direction. This is something that I have to like wrestle with myself at the moment, actually. Fun fact, I guess we'll see a little bit more of that tomorrow morning. Yo, all the days are blending together here. No, tomorrow morning. On Friday, I should say. Sorry, on Friday. And that is the upcoming TLMC stream. In regards to the fact that this map is more open and more exposed, that is true, but because of the length of the map and the fact that it's 3-player spawn, like we often do see a more economic builds on Mothership. I still haven't gone through the dynamic maps. I'm looking forward to it. I kind of want to do it on stream, so look forward to that on Friday. For those that are not quite aware, we did have a TLMC judging stream yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And we went through all the standard maps, and we went through all the rush maps as well. And Fridays when we have the dynamic maps, which is where we have like 3-player swarm maps, 4-player swarm maps, like the crazy stuff. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, I've already encountered a couple of interesting wild maps, to say the least. which it's difficult to really like gauge like how extreme they are at times. For those who haven't seen them, there are a couple of maps that have been submitted which have healing shrines in the center, like in between like the two main bases, so like even more extreme than Persephone. Persephone had a healing shrine, but it was still off to the side, if you recall, in the center of the map, but off to the side. Whereas here we have some healing shrines in the main attack paths, which is a lot more, and also closer to your opponent's bases as well, because they're smaller maps, so they're a lot more impactful, a lot more influential, and arguably too much so. Like it's yeah, arguably. It's one of those things where we haven't seen healing shrines be that influential before in competitive maps, and because of that, like, it's harder to judge like how imbalanced, if at all, it is, or if it's something that we want in the game. Bearing in mind as well that for Persephone, they also had air blockers, which I think is important. I think that is a good thing. If you don't have air blockers, then that means that's like Banshee Harass, or more specifically Oracle Harass, is less punishable. Like, a big part of PvZ is the Oracle goes in, takes a little hold damage, and then the Oracle's that much weaker for the rest of the game. With a healing shrine, that takes that away, right? That allows for Oracles to have more sustain, more viability. But regardless, we're just calming down. We're just droning up. Behind this was a standard opener, so throw TC into Banshee play. Ooh, no Spore at the 4th base. Likewise, no Overseer yet either. Wait, what? Okay, there's a lair. There's a lair. A layered Overseer. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 drones. Very nice damage here by Cure. Nothing game ending, but nice damage nonetheless. 4 drones. 4 drones, no detection. Banshees, they dip into the main base, and they will get eyes on the main. Shouldn't get further damage here. The Queens, they do respond. But nice threatening force nonetheless. Behind this, we're droning up towards 80. 81 drones for SHIN. Cure likewise getting to 3 base economy, and we should be seeing a 4th TC soon. Should be seeing a 4th command center. From here, when it comes to the composition of choice, it's going to be Ling, Bane, Hydra. Ooh, as the Banshee does fall. But we'll be Ling, Bane, Hydra out of SHIN. No roaches, not this time. I should also emphasize that this is going to be a heavier investment into Hydras. What I mean by that is no +1 melee. There's no melee upgrades, +1 range instead, so a heavier commitment into Hydras, less so on Ling Bane. And here comes our first push out of Cure. Here comes our first move out. We can morph in Hellbats to help support the tanks. There they come. And he does catch all the Banelings. Yeah, Banelings get caught unsieged. They get caught morphing in. You know what I mean. Oh no. They're not sieged that bad. So nice catch. At the same time, Ling Runway does hit the 3rd. Will distract Cure. Yeah, Cure's distracted. Force to defend back at home. That will delay his push. Banelings are finishing. SHIN buying more time. Ready for another Baneling Runway this time. And Cure, what's the plan? Does turn back around. Yeah, he missed his window. Waiting for more army, waiting for more reinforcements. Banelings, they do make it into the mineral line. Oh, just barely. Yeah, no major connections. The wall is broken, has to be rebuilt. Quick moves there by Cure. Does rebuild the wall. Lings, they attempt to go for the run line, get on top of the tank. It's quite a big dive. Yeah, it's going to be messy here. At the same time, Curie does them in. Yeah, Sims into the 4th base. Decent spread here by Cure. Banelings, they do connect though towards the end. Okay. They do somewhat connect, but Curie's breaking through. Yeah, Curie's breaking on through. Getting on top of the expansion. Bailey's rolling in. Oh, they barely do connect. And Shin is holding. Whew. Shin, he's barely holding on here, catching out the Marines, getting on top of the tanks. Again, some of the splits here, some of the spread was lacking. It was lacking here for Cure. Taking extra Bailey shots to the face. And Shin does barely hold. At the same time, did kill the tank, didn't kill many SCVs across the map. Didn't get too much done. Yeah, 3 SCV kills, 5 in total. He rotates. Ooh. Does rotate over. We get some decent mine connections. Nice spread here against those Bailings. And now he's getting to the Hydras. And here a better trade for a Cure. Initially. But now here come reinforcements as Shin does hold. And we're getting messy. Both players with comparable economies. Cure now getting his own 4th base up and running. As he does though, Shin does go for a lane run by. Nice catch on the Queen. Ooh. And nice catch on the Queen. Lings there don't hit the 4th. Once again, Cure trying to get into the Hydras, but barely doesn't have enough bio. Barely not. As Lings at deny mining, these were fresh mules. Nice deny. Nice run by. Catching out 2 SCVs, delaying any kind of mining, and also distracting the reinforcements. Distracts Cure. Shin holding onto his northern base. Cure, he's been 8-raxing? Yes. Okay, he has been 8-raxing. What does that mean? That means that Cure, he isn't taking up. Like, he's staying on a very, very cheap army. Very marine heavy. Just marine mine. Getting into 3-3. Which means as time goes on, he's going to be outscaled. Oof. Yeah, this time Bailings, they crash through. They crash on through. We get an okay connection. Oh, the SCVs! The SCVs get called out. 12 SCVs going down. Could have gone for more. But the 3rd base has been broken. It takes down the 3rd. It takes down the mineral line. 17 SCV kills. At the same time, Cure does take down an expansion. Nice double drop. Triple drop even. Takes down a base. Moving forward. Oof. Brutal mine connections. But Cure is hurting. Cure is still hurting that much more. As Cure's economy has been stifled, has been crippled. And my big concern here are the lurkers. Lurkers are on the horizon. We were kind of leading into this. The issue with an ARAX is basically an all-in that Terran has. It leaves you on a very low-tech army, and the goal is to kill. The goal is to overwhelm and kill your opponent. If you fail to do so, then you fall behind. Specifically, once we get into hive tech, whether it would have been lurkers or ultras or broodlords or any spell casters like a heavy viper infestor army, there's no real answer to that. So there's no setup into ghosts, right? There's no setup into liberators, ghost, tank. Again, it's a very cheap army here for Cure. Oh, nice snipe though. Okay. Very nice snipe. Lurker Den goes down. That should not have happened. And that means that Cure, he can hold on. Does not have to worry about lurkers. Okay. Never mind. He can keep this going. Ideally, he does need gases though. He needs to take some gases soon to be able to afford a transition. Oh no! He scans. That was a very fortunate scan there for Cure. There's a whole position lurkers, Pappy. That was terrifying. Ah. Ay ay ay. Cuidado, Pappy. Cuidado. I could see it all before my eyes. I mean, regardless, he's running into Link. Jesus. He's still running into Link Bane. Now we have a transition, second starport into Liberators. Yeah, he's getting into Libs. Secure. He does take some bailing shots to the face. We'll deny the expansion at least. Denies the expansion. Here come the lurkers. We spoke about this earlier, how Cure, he's not ready for lurker tech. He's just now taking up. We have the fusion core. Fusion core's on the way. Ghost Academy's on the way. This is all late. Ling run back here into the mineral line. Lurkers are harassed here on the left-hand side, on the south side. Hatchery will go down. Nice speed goes here by Curie. Does deny the 4th or the 5th. Denies the 5th base time and time again. But SCVs are going down. And here comes the Lurker Viper. So a big power spike now for Shin. Oof, Lurkers, they hold their own. The Liberator does punish though. Here comes this around. Okay, an expensive loss here for Shin. But here comes the main army. And he wants that planetary. Oh, the medevacs! No! Yeah, the medevacs, they run into Hydras, losing 1, 2, 3 medevacs are free. 4 medevacs even. And medevacs, they get punished. Not many Hydras left over. Does get 1 Liberator. Just the 1. Yeah, so a messy fight from both sides. But just not enough anti-air, not enough Hydras. And Shin, he will lose every lurker here. We're getting messy. Every lurker goes down. Still no gases though. Yeah, very, very low. I mean, I say that. There is a gas bank for Cure. But the SCV count is still quite low. More mining is being denied. He's got the Academy, but no ghosts yet. I mean, the army itself here is quite low for Cure. We gotta send it. Collapsing in. Nice pickles here. Going for the mass power bombs, abducting the Liberator. As we mentioned, the army quality here for Shin is just greater than that, is superior to that of Cure. He's got the better composition. He's got the better army. Still denying mining. And Cure's just being outscaled. He's being outscaled. I did see a comment earlier talking about 3-3 versus 1-1. That was 1-1 melee and range. Shin has had +3 carapace for quite some time, which is more important. Specifically against a heavy marine army. He's had his carapace upgrades. And Shin is about to max. Shin, he's maxing out here with his Lurker Viper. What do we have here for Cure? We've got 3 ghosts. Okay. Let's go. We got 3 ghosts, Pappy. About to be 5. Let's catch 1 Lurker. Cure does rotate towards the south side. We'll see how Shin does handle himself, how he does engage. As we're going for a split push. Shin splits as well. Lunges in. Oh my god. It does lunge in, takes down the Liberator. At the same time, we do catch out the main army. Yeah, Liberators are all going to go down. Massive pickoffs. Cashing out every single Liberator. And now Shin can push. Now Shin can move out. He still has full NG on all these Vipers. Cure is in trouble. EMP does not land. Does catch out the Banelings at least. Nicely done. Catching out the would-be Banelings. I believe there are no Lurkers with the main army, only 2. Yeah, Lurkers, they're elsewhere. Harassing instead. Rotates over towards the 3rd. Nice pickup. Cashing out 2 Liberators. Oh, just the 1. Just the 1 Liberator. Army collapses in. Nice mine shot. Jesus. Mine shots have been solid, but there's still just not much left. Nice flying clouds covering the main army. Abducting whatever he can. Shin is overextending here. Yeah, he does overextend. He has to get the hell out of here, but he does kill 18 SCVs. Shin, he has to pull away. As 20 SCVs go down. Once again, Cure, he has no bank, he has no money. It's all or nothing. Nice snipes on the Vipers. Nice snipes. But a better surround. Catching up the ghosts. Ghosts are falling. Oh my god. Catching up 1, 2, 3 ghosts. From here, she just has to buy time. Just buy time, build up an army. 24 lings in production. He needs more time, Pappy. Lurkers waddling in. Still harassing. Catching out the queens. Oh, the flanking dog. The tender flanking lurker. Again, very messy defense here from Shin. He's trying to hold on. He's so close. Gasito, papi, gasito. Oh my god. As we do have 2 more Liberators, okay. The Liberators have arrived, so have Lurkers. Ooh, that does change things. Yeah, Lunkers, they stand their ground. Shinny finally got center right up and running. Did finally get it back up. Does extend 2 Lurkers, not bad. Ooh, but he will pay the price here. Ghosts, they get abandoned. Yeah, Ghosts are abandoned. Medivacs is running out of Engie. Heavy overstim here from Cure. He's overstimmed. Looks like the Lurker was dealt with. Alright, it was attempting to flank earlier. True. Did attempt. And we're calming down. The dust does settle. What's important here, of course, is the economy. Cure, he needs another expansion. You can see he's trying to retake that triangular third. That's Cure, he needs bases. Let's get away. Let's barely pull away. Shin taking his own fresh expansions. Curie is being active. Shin should be able to build up faster. He's got 8 Lurkers on the way. It's a little Lunkers. I believe caught out an Infestor. There are 0 Liberators. Still on the way. Oof! Once again, a brutal mine shot. Have had some juicy connections so far this game. Oof. Yeah, Lurkers, like, oh my god, they catch out the entire double drop. Yeah, late reactions here by Cure. At the same time, Cure does catch out a couple of Hydras. They're moving in. They're moving in, harassing mineral lines. Likewise, so is Cure. But Shin does have a fresh mining base. Oh, the catching of the ghost. They have to pull away. Say pull away as a lot of damage dealt here to the planetary, a lot of lost mine time as well. Shin collapsing in. Nice mine shots. Oof. Oh god. Once again, the mine shots are brutal. But we do land the power bombs. Power bomb here on the Medivacs. No Ghost with the main army. Lurkers are still popping off. Can they kill the planetary? Ah, they cannot. Oh my god, the snipes! The snipes are crazy. Every lurker goes down. But this was still a main distraction. These ghosts, for how long were they out here, not with the main army? So heavy losses here for SHIN, but SHIN to take better fights. And again, has that fresh mining base. The expansions are getting up. We're on hold position. He's on hold position. Oh god! Oh my Jesus! Massive shots. Ah, that's what, 4 ghosts going down. The hold position, papi. That's the SHIN. And GG gets called. Ghosts are getting called out, and with that SHIN, he will take game number 2. We're going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, a very intense back and forth here. Cure was hyper committed early on, going for an ARAX, going for essentially a 3-base all-in, going pure marine mine. We saw that eventually he got outscaled. We did emphasize that once the lurkers got into play, Cure, he was outscaled. He was taking some worse fights. He had to back off and build up into ghosts, build up into liberators. For a time there, we saw that SHIN was able to gain map control, able to punch the economy and build up his own. And then we had that back and forth where bases were going down, workers were going down as well. In the end, SHIN still did maintain a greater economy throughout the entire game. He was always up 20 plus workers, and it was Cure that was struggling to maintain his own economy and had that more shaky transition into Ghost Lib. He had a shakier transition into Ghost Lib, and with that we saw that, I mean, it was still, despite that, still back and forth, still very messy, but GG, well played. With that, SHIN does force the ace match. Now we're loading into Ruby Rock. Let's go. Whew. We're getting into Ruby Rock, getting into the ace match here, and we'll see how this story ends as we load into a much smaller map this time. Much smaller map. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself. It is SHIN. Let's go. Let us go. Whew, okay, so again, last game was a game of greed. We had both players go for economic and greedier builds. This time, Cure going back to 2x Reaper. I'm assuming 2x Reaper, bearing in mind that game 1 he went 2x Marine into a 3x Stim timing. True. Game 1 was crazy from Cure, but we'll see what he goes for this time. We're expecting Reaper play. We're expecting, I mean, this time we have an earlier gas. True. Earlier gas geyser, so 2x Reaper on the horizon for Cure. We'll see how SHIN does open up himself. So far, hatch gas pool. It is hatch gas pool out of our Zerg player. Raxes are being thrown down. Technically, we can double down and go for a 3rd Rax in the main. Keep an eye on Cure. Bearing in mind, this is not an all-in, right? This is an aggressive build. The goal here is to deny and delay the 3rd, right? To keep the economy low. So there's a very high chance that Ragnarok... Sorry, God, I keep saying that because he's playing under the Rag ID. There's a very high chance that SHIN, he does go for delayed link speed, and he does go into an earlier lair if he stays on 2 bases. Into an earlier Roach Horn specifically. That is a common reaction, a common response to 2x. The reason why roaches are a common response is because when you open up 2x Reaper like this, you're going 2x Reaper into a CC, into a delayed factory, right? You're typically turning this into a 2-on-1. 2-on-1 is reactor into reactor marine production, into tech lab, into stim, into factory, starport, medevacs, into delayed tanks. So roach all-ins and roach pushes can hit even harder. Meanwhile, link speed is being researched, but we're staying in gas. That's what's important here. So we are still going for link speed, but we are staying in gas. And SHIN will delay his 3rd. So SHIN, he delays his 3rd base. Ooh, 1 drone goes down. That should not have happened. And nice pick off. Oh, as things, they do not surround. But so far, good start for Cure. He delays the expansion and he kills the drone. Now the big question becomes, Shin, does he go for a lair or a Roach Warren, right? Which one is it going to be? Where does he spend his gas? Likewise, it's going to be in Cure to scat as well. Cure, he knows that, okay, he's on 2 bases, he's going for either a Baneling Nest, a Roach Warren, or a lair. Like, I got to figure it out. Cure needs to confirm. There's the follow-up. Reactor into Tech Lab, into Stim. Into Bio. And we have the answer, lair. Okay. Going for the faster lair. Still staying in gas. Now, we'll keep it on the gases. If we do take, say, a second and third gas geyser, this can lead into 2-base Muta. So 2-base Muta might be on the horizon. I would not advise Muta play if you know that your opponent's going into a 2-1-1, into a stim timing. I feel like it should still be a Roach Warren into maybe fast Roach speed, into a Roach all-in. Yep, there it is. Okay, the Roach Warren gets thrown down here at the natural behind the mineral line. Gases are being taken, so this should be lined up with fast Roach speed. It should be a Roach all-in. It should be. Oh. Looks like there was, looks like Wardy was lacking out. Okay. Feels Wardy, man. European internet. I mean, what can we do, Pappy? What can we do? To be fair, specifically EU connection to Korea is not the most stable at times. That's also why we use VPNs whenever we have to connect to Korea. We use VPNs, man. So here comes Roach Speed. We can see that Shin, he is joining up somewhat. Squeezing out a couple of workers. Plus on Carapace is not going for the all-in. Okay. He's not going for the all-in. He is droning, he's macroing. He does make Roaches here to defend, but only to defend. From here, he's building up into a 3-base economy. Now the question becomes, does he get a 4th? Specifically, does he join up at the 4th base? Right? This can still be a later all-in here for Shin, which I wouldn't be opposed to. That would hit the 3rd. So for now, he's droning. He's saturating. Secure is moving in. Again, we have our safety roaches. Oh! And with that, Cure is deflected. Cure is zoned away. Infestation bit tells us that Shin is taking gases, is getting a 4th base, and is going to be joining up. Okay. Now, with this pit, we can go into safety infestors, right? We can go into safety infestors just to be safe, just to be secure. Then that can lead into a fast hive. Then that can lead into ultras. There's a fast hive. No safety infestors. So, risky maneuver here by Shin. He's cutting corners. A very fast hive. And again, fast hive is usually for fast ultra tech. As the 4th base is denied, then now we forced to make infestors. As we mentioned, Shin was being greedy. He's like, I don't need these infestors. And it's like, nah, I do. Does need them. Bearing in mind that without banelings and without baneling speed, infestors are necessary to keep up with the bio army, to shut down marines. Otherwise, Roach is going to have a very hard time. There's that melee upgrade. If you recall, we did specify that if you see a hive in this kind of position, it screams ultras, and that's why we're switching to melee upgrades. Of course, initial carapace upgrades do also help benefit as well. And Skir is going for a double jump. have 2 medevacs on the sub side, 2 more medevacs here towards the south as well. And there's that Ultra Cavern. And the goal, the win condition here for Shin is survive until Ultras. Survive back. Can he make it? Double jump into the main. Shin is in position. Ravager here on the top side. Infestors here towards the third. Army's unloaded. Screw's pushing forward. Oh. Does scan, does spot the infestors. Here comes the main push on the top side. Does get scouted. Catching out a couple of roaches. We can see the infestors, they do rotate. Good call. The infestors they need for the main push. This double drop though does break through the lings. Yeah, lings are going down. Ooh, fungal does not land. He does miss the fungal. This double drop is getting out of hand. Yeah, it gets out of hand. Shin, he did misjudge this. Did not split well. Losing 3 drones. Once again, doesn't quite catch the army. Better fungal towards the end though. Ooh. Better fungal. Cure, he did lose a lot of his army here. He's backing off. And Shin is holding. And what do you see? Ultra attack. Kind of splitting is on the way. +2 melee's on the way. Getting to 2-2 upgrades. Getting into kind of splitting. The ultras are popping out. And Shin, he's made it. Remember, the win condition will survive until ultras. And the reality is that Cure, he's not ready for ultra attack. Not yet. No liberators, no ghosts. He does have a decent marauder count. And he has a couple of tanks behind this as well. His army is okay. But Shin is here. Shin commits in. Cure's out of position. Yeah, Cure's unsieged. Out of position. Infestor's going to be coming in. Shows his fungals. Ooh, does end one. Yeah, fungal does land. Might just going off. Ultras, they do commit in. Only one ultra though. The chain fungals. Is it enough? It's not enough. Yeah, the ultra does not break through, but he does get the mineral line. 20 SCVs. Okay. Does catch out 20 workers. While they don't catch the Banshee, Infestor goes down. But that was a big economic blow here for Cure. Oh, that one Banshee. 3 damage. That is one of the downsides of this style, is that you have limited anti-air. Your anti-air is Queens and Parasitic Bombs. That's all your anti-air. Nothing else shoots up. By design. It's going to be all about the power bombs. And I guess fungals. He's pushing with his main army. We now have +3 carapace on the way. Nice focus firing. Catching up 4 drones. Both armies are maxing out, so we have 3-3 on the horizon here for Cure. Cure, when it comes to tech, he has yet to get a second starport and yet to get a... There we go. Second starport now on the way. No academy yet. There's a fusion core. He wants liberators. Ooh, as it's getting caught out. Not just that, SHIN, he just keeps pushing. It keeps moving out, denies the expansion. Cure, he's forced to respond. Forced to respond. As we're losing CCs. SHIN, he commits in. Oh. Does decide to commit. Nice blinding cloud. Going for the power bombs as well. But is this worth it? Does kill a CC, bleeds out a couple of ultras. He does have to pull away. But he is pulling Cure apart. Oh gosh. The mine shots. Every time. Oh, he wants that CC. We get some decent blinding clouds. Once again on the main army. Ultras give chase. Leading around right here towards the third. Catching another tank. Enforcing with a friendly fire. Oof. Cleaning up the mines, bearing in mind that of course SHIN does have the greater economy. He's rebuilding, remaxing more ultras, and this time we have corruptors. Now we finally have some anti-air. The Spire is now done. +1 flyer attack is on the way. And remember, Cure, he never got that academy, right? Yeah, he never got the academy, so no ghost production. He's working on his liberators. I mean, you could just argue that Cure never had the economy to sustain for ghost production anyway. That's Cure, he needs those SCVs. He needs those bases. And SHIN is giving him no time. Here, just clashing with the main army. At the same time, Lings, they do hit. Oh, they kill the CC this time. Kill the command center. Oh, Investor behind the army. Let's go. Investor coming from behind. Fungal does land. Massive connection. He's locked in. Yeah, the chain connections here. He's locked into the fight. Losing all the metamax. Bailey's finishing up in time. And Cure, he will lose almost everything. Farmers in supply. We have 5 more ultras in production. And SHIN is doing it. SHIN is doing it. The ultras are coming, and there's just no answer. Cure desperately trying to mine. Trying to maintain himself. Vipers are full of energy. And the ultras have arrived. Oh, not yet. there they are. It's like, where are the ultras, pappy? Curie is maxing out himself. True. He is maxing out. It's still a very heavy bio army. It's just pure Marine Rotor Mine. I mean, the mine shields have potential. See SHIN trying to push in from one single angle. I think I runs into a minefield. SHIN does give Cure a lot of time to build back up, so he's maxed out. We can see SHIN teching, going for the Greater Spire just in case, ready for Broodlords. Oh, okay, going for a Doom Drop, interesting. Let's go for the drop. Question, he commits in. He will take down the planetary. Doesn't get the mineral line. Does get the expansion, once again distracting Cure. Doom drop into the main. Does mass unload. Oof. We do see the Marauders, they hold their own. They will punish all these Ultras. They're on their own. Yeah, Ultras on their own, they just crumble. They need support. Where's the Ling Bane? It's in the main. Ling Bane is elsewhere. The army is getting overstimmed. Oof. Val's even catching under Medevac. And Medevac goes down. But Shin did lose an expansion. He's got 2 more. He's got top right instead. Lings, they did kill some production buildings here. Did distract, but nothing major. What was really important was killing the expansion, but we do have an orbital to replace. Oh god, there are so many mines! Ah. The mines are popping off and they all survive as well. Yeah, messy trades here by Shin. Oof, well, Painless they connect. And the army is heavily overstimmed. Oh my god, it's deep in the red. It's because there's only 1 medevac. Only 1 medevac. Ay, ay, ay. Minefield goes down. We have our mass ultra. Shin is moving in. And we're trading bases. Trading expansions. Shin, he responds. Oof. And massive ultra swipes going off. Nice target firing. Oh, the boys. Boys are being pulled. They do help. That's how low the army was. And Curie's just still been stuck defending this entire time. Losing another medevac. Oh, nice snipe of the Viper. Nice snipe. Viper goes down. Ultras, they give chase. Get a couple of swipes in. Oof. Some heavy swipes on the buy. That's going to be 12, 13 SCVs going down. 12. Cure down to 33 workers. He's muling as best he can. That's all of his economy. The mules. That's all he's got. Again, barely an economy here for Cure. Just refuses to die. Ah. And Shin maxes out. Shin maxes out. Collapsing him once again. Oof. It's a lot of aliens going down. So once again a messy fight here from Shin. Once again getting messy. As armies engaged, Lings, they do hit the low ground. They're coming in for the surround actually. On the mine. Doesn't quite collapse in the army, but this is all still doing more damage, right? Still no mining. No economy. Oof. Oh god, these wooden mines. They've been crazy, Pappy. Nice fungal. Fungal lands. Cure just being as efficient as possible, trading as best he can. Holds his own, catching on more ultras. 2 more ultras falling. These have been heavy trades here for Shin. Expensive. Expensive trades. Oh, the mine shots. Not this time. And finally, Shin, he overwhelms the army, catching out the bio. The final army here for Cure, heavily overstimmed. Losing everything, GG gets called, and Shin, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Shin, he will claim the series. A very, very intense back and forth here. But for the most part, specifically for this final game, Cure was on the back foot for a very long time when it came to his tech, when it came to his economy. He was losing mineral line after mineral line. He was contained on the lower base count. We did see some back and forth, of course, with SHIN also losing expansions, but for the most part, SHIN always had that economic lead over Cure. Likewise, Cure, he was also, I mean, he never teched up into Ghost. He was late to take up into Liberators, late to make that switch. We spoke earlier that there was a big power spike on the way in regards to the Ultras, and that was true. Once the Ultras came into play, Cure, he lost map control, he started losing bases, and that's when he started losing mineral lines as well. He had a bit of a more shaky transition into that later game. GG. GG, well played, and with that, SHIN, he will claim the series. And we have our grand finals. It's going to be a best of five between SHIN and Byun. Bearing in mind that Byun, he was waiting in the grand finals, waiting for the win of the series. He took down Clem earlier. Did take down Clem in that TVP, which was also quite close. True.